first mod we're going to talk about is the Death Recovery mod. All mod IDs and everything else will be in the description. So Sean's dead, and that happened. So the Death Recovery mod allows you to basically place a gravestone. It's craftable for I think a few stone and whatever else. And then you can put it down. It has editable text on the front of it, but the idea then is that once you've died, rather than having to find your corpse, you can simply interact with the gravestone.
Like so.
Like that. And all of your inventory items are returned to you. Anything you had in your inventory is given back to you, which technically I suppose is kind of cheaty because you're supposed to be at risk of losing that stuff, but the amount of times that you'll get stuck somewhere or whatever and starve to death, then you can't get your stuff back, or worse, you get killed by something and your loot bag ends up like 3 meters underground. This allows you to compensate for that. The next mod on the agenda is Death Helper, which for the cost of 1 stone, which are obviously abundant and readily available, will give you an item in your inventory which is called Corpse Finder, I believe. Is that correct, Sean?
That's the one, but one problem. You say they're abundant. I don't have any stones. Can I turn your golem into a corpse finder?
No.
Oh, does your golem have any stones?
It should have, unless he's very hungry.
No, he's good. Right, corpse finder. So I've already made a corpse, as
Yes.
a result of demonstrating the last mod. So, corpse finder. I stand here, I put it in my hotbar, I activate it, and I get these little, marker things. I've got 2 because I've got 2 corpses. Each layer of pluses is pointing to one of my 2 corpses, and I get a pretty purple or pink, I'm going to say pink beam that comes down and shows you where the corpse is.
Another bright side about this mod, I suppose, is that if you can get close to your corpse, but not close enough to interact with it, you can reuse the corpse finder there, and it will spawn a little bag at your feet containing everything in the inventory from your character.
Yeah, it's extremely useful if your body gets stuck below the ground. If you glitch underneath a rock or something weird, it will allow you to just simply pull it through the world.
The next mod on the list is Castles, Keeps, and Forts Medieval Architecture, which is pretty much what you see all around.
Yeah, I'd say with that one, best example we can give of that is just go and watch our video on the village flyby, and yeah, just have a look at the stuff, the general buildings that were built with that. That's all been built with the castles and keeps stuff. But yeah, obviously, so the castle stuff, you make it out of stone and metal. It is very expensive. The wooden equivalent stuff is just made out of wood, so on and so forth.
The main advantages I can see to this is that the dimensions of the walls and the foundations are slightly different from standard and S+, for example. So whereas normally you would need to build 2 walls high to definitely guarantee sort of head clearance, now 1 wall unit, as you can see, Sean is stood under the door, and that's the height of 1 wall unit versus the S+ wall that's next to it, which is shorter. Plus, Sean, could you just quickly go to one of the walls and demonstrate a different texture? Hellfire, for example.
Yeah, I can do. Let's do this one. Hellfire.
There you go. There's frosty, there's all sorts. And yeah, it allows for a different texture. I like that one personally. I think someone's used the the ocean graphic and then layered it over the bricks many times. It looks really nice.
It's pretty sweet, to be fair. I mean, I'm just thinking to Greystone because the whole point is this is obviously the tower running through my building.
The next mod on the list is Echoes, or Ecos, however you like to pronounce it. RP Decor.
Yeah, that is one that, to be honest, again, just look around you. From little things like this fountain here, Echoes Terrariums is why I've got this beautiful giant fish tank up here. In the war room, you'll see I have this beautiful table, and there's this lovely bonsai. This
You sound like you're selling it.
Yeah, I sound like a estate agent. Really, really good table, actually. I love the 3D maps, actually. I think they're great. And my cute little Jerboa tank. This, I think, is probably my favourite part of the entire mod. It's just these cute, little, adorable Jerboa tank with the tiny little mantises. It's loads of little things like that. Things like the benches that I've got out here on my terrace. The water fountain is from there. It's just a lot of stuff to make things pretty. The braziers I've got here is actually a combination of 2 of his items.
The next mod on the list is Armor Stand.
armor stands, we were using a different armor stand mod originally, but it was sort of fixed. It always looked like flak armor. And by sheer accident, I managed to find this one. So this is the wooden armor stand as it is with nothing on it. Steve will show you what one looks like with it. And he's also now added for the tech gear a holographic one. The armor stands are modular. As you add each piece, it will add them on there.
The next one is snappy saddles, which, to be honest, is a very simple explanation. Can you take a look at my Parasaur, for example, please, Sean? It's just behind you.
Snow, yeah?
Yeah, that is a standard platform saddle. Snappy saddles basically allows you to put an extra border, an extra maybe inch worth, all the way around, which makes the platform bigger. And more importantly, it then allows you using S Plus to snap things nice and square. And that is literally all that one does. The next mod on the list is Inventory Cleaner, which is an absolute godsend of a mod. It will allow you to basically gather indiscriminately and have it automatically sort what you do and don't want, as Sean will now explain.
Basically, equip it, right-click it, and at the moment I've already got everything ticked. So select everything, and it will just drop everything that's ticked. So say I want to gather only fibre. I haven't got a sickle or anything like that. I don't want to gather berries. I tell it, only gather fibre. Click done, put that away, and I go out and start gathering. That's stone, there we go. And it should now, as time goes on, leave the fibre, and there we go, got rid of the last berries. All it's done is leave the fibre. It will drop everything you don't want automatically for you, so that you don't have to worry about constantly going in and you know, to loosen up weight.
The next one on the list is the Oyster Bed, which I don't think we have one placed.
Yes, we... No, I don't know.
There'll be some in the bank which you could go and put down in the greenhouse, if you wanted.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no, there's not enough space in my dungeon. Not dungeon, basement.
Dungeon.
I don't have anything under my house.
Slips. You're letting secret slip.
I have nothing under my house, honest. There are no holes in my floor.
Yes. We were playing on a populated server till Sean arrived. The next mod on the agenda is Oyster Bed mod 2.0, and the idea behind this is that it functions similarly to a crop plot. However, you feed it different things, so you would put inside of it stones and it would make silica pearls over time. If you leave the silica pearls in, or if you feed it silica pearls from the get-go, then it will turn them into black pearls over time.
Yep, we don't have any at the moment. As I've already said, I don't have any in my cellar. So I shall place one, and unfortunately these don't snap to foundations, which is a bit of a shame.
Functions like default as opposed to S+.
Yeah, so they're made out of silica pearl cementing paste, a little bit of stone, and a large crop plot. They're not overly expensive to make. Once you place it, it basically just looks like a wooden pond with oysters inside of it.
The next one up is, of course, the good old Structures Plus, and I'm sure by now nearly everybody who's played this game is aware of Structures Plus. You can enable things so that you can build past the default sort of 3 ceilings away from the nearest foundation support, so that you can use fence supports rather than fence foundations, which are sort of like vertical posts which allow you to build from them, and so on and so forth. A plethora of different snapping options and angles for things. I mean, triangular ceilings and foundations. So many little bits that make things just easier. The fact that the air conditioners snap into the window holes save you having to like wedge them in somewhere. It's just convenience plus ease of use, and like, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it is my opinion that is what vanilla should have been. Another massive advantage of the S Plus, I suppose, is the automatic lights, and in most cases they don't require a fuel source. You set them up, they have an options menu, you can go in, you can set what time you want them to come on, what time you want them to go off automatically. With the torches, in fact, you can add coloured dye to have different colour flame, which is a nice touch.
And there you go. So yeah, we've added obviously blue dye to these to give them a blue look. I just love how the zebras look.
The Next mod on the list is the meat spoiler. The idea behind the meat spoiler is you put in regular meat, and as the name suggests, it spoils it, which is great for building narcotics and whatever else you need it for. Scorpion food, blah blah blah. That it doesn't really, you don't really get a more straightforward mod than this. It does literally as its name suggests. The next mod on the list then is Reusable Plus, which is, well, simple. You get items that instead of being single use are now reusable, such as Sean's favourite toy, the grappling hook.
Yep, so normally a grappling hook is a one-shot use. I'll show you my inventory at the moment. As you can see, I have only the reusable grappling hook. So I pull myself up here towards Adam's rock. I break the grappling hook, and I parachute down safely. And grapple back up. Let go of my parachute. Let go of the parachute, there we go. And let go again, and parachute down. But I only have one parachute, I only have one grappling hook. So they are completely reusable, you only need to carry one of them, which is an absolute lifesaver. And great if you're someone like me who just loves to zip around with a grappling hook.
The only amendment to what Sean just said is that if you're using the reusable spear, or the reusable flare, that you will in fact need a second one because it consumes the first and replenishes itself, but only if there is a second. So the reusable spears, for example, if you plan on throwing them, then you'll need to. The next one on the list is Super Spyglass.
Yeah, so the variable Spyglass is a Spyglass with, for some reason, a reticle. I don't know why that's a thing. But yeah, so it works like a normal Spyglass, but it has the functions of a magnifying glass as well. So I'm currently looking at Rocky here. No, Geodude. His name's Geodude. Sorry, Steve, I forgot his name. And I can see his stamina, I can see his food, I can see his health, I can see his level. It's great when you're out and you're trying to tame something.
The next and final mod on our list is the Pimp My Dino mod.
I love this mod, absolutely love it. So this is the Pimp My Dino mod workstation. Look at that T-Rex. Just look at the T-Rex. He looks freaking awesome. And if I borrow Rachel's Argy here, you get armor for your Argies, which looks pretty sweet.
You get armor for your Sabertooth too. Not every dino's got some, but quite a lot have, including dodos, and no, I'm not joking. So that's a lot of people. I hope you enjoyed the list. I hope it was beneficial to you. The third and final time I'm going to say it, check the description for the mod IDs and the links to them. Have a good one.